He was an individualist and individuality. He didn't care what people say about him and aimed to differ from others. That is why he was often blamed for being immoral, but as a man with a strong sense of beauty, he answered, "If one has to misbehave, it is better for him to be vicious and well-dressed than to be vicious and badly dressed." This man's name was Oscar Fingal O'Flaherty Wilde. He was born in Dublin, Ireland on the 16th of October, 1854. His father, Sir William, was an outstanding physician who had a clinic that he built and equipped with his own money. Oscar's mother, Jane Francesca Elgee, wrote prose and poetry and translated German. After leaving the Royal School in the town of Enniskillen with honors, Oscar entered Trinity College of Dublin. During the 3 years of studies, Wilde was repeatedly awarded for his works in literature. At the age of 20, Oscar reached the highest academic level. He was granted a 4-year scholarship to Magdalen College in Oxford. During his first holidays, he visited Italy and Greece because with his own eyes he wanted to see the beauty of those countries he had read so much about. Ancient cathedrals, paintings, and sculptures, the atmosphere of towns enraptured Wilde, touched him to pain, to tears, and fostered his sense of beauty. His professors considered the knowledge Oscar demonstrated during the final exams to be brilliant and prolonged his scholarship for 1 more year. When Wilde was a student, he began writing poetry, and in 1881 he published a collection of his own poems. Later, he started to write plays for the theater, cherishing hopes for quick fame. However, the English censorship banned the first plays written by the Irishman Wilde, which he himself called a rebellion against tyranny. Yet Oscar was able to become famous, but not in literary pursuits. In the 1880s, there wasn't a salon in London where the aesthete Wilde was unknown. Having trained his gestures and facial expressions in front of the mirror, he won all hearts by his languid look and refined manners. At the age of 27, he was invited to America to give lectures on art. There, he stunned the listeners by his eloquence and fabulous costumes. After visiting a silver mine in Colorado where he was given a chance to go down the pit, Oscar wrote to his lady friend, "Of course, being true to my principle, I was elegant even in the cage." Upon returning, he spent the money he earned in America on 3 months in Paris. When he saw Napoleon's bust in the Louvre, he had his hair done in the same wavy style and became even dandier. At the age of 30, Wilde married the 27-year-old beauty Constance Mary Lloyd. He confessed in his letters, "I don't feel complete without you." While Oscar gave lectures in the provinces, the young couple sent telegrams to each other twice a day, making the telegraph workers feel utterly romantic, as Wilde wrote. By age 32, Oscar was a father and had 2 sons, which multiplied his happiness. In 1887, Wilde was proposed for the editor of Woman's World. Oscar attended to it with great enthusiasm, but on condition that the magazine be focused on the entire woman, not just a woman's fashion. Though he was the author of the fashion column, he thought that it is necessary not only to write about what women wear, but also what they think or feel. 2 years later, he gave up the editorship and returned to literature. His book of fairy tales was published, and in 1890 the novel The Picture of Dorian Gray, that caused a lot of negative reviews, appeared. The author was accused that he depicted evil with an unforgivable pleasure. Wilde had to listen to similar reproaches concerning his play Salome, which was forbidden from the stage. But all these attacks were slight compared to what the writer experienced in 1895. England was shocked to hear that the 40-year-old Oscar Wilde had sexual relationships with Lord Alfred Douglas, who was underage at the time. When the youth's father, the Marquis of Queensberry, got wind of the affair, he started to pursue Oscar. Fearing for his life, Oscar brought an action against the youth's father, but the trial Oscar initiated ended unexpectedly and not in Oscar's favor. Wilde was sentenced to 2 years penal servitude and deprived of parental rights, and as a result, his wife and children changed their surname. At the time of Oscar's imprisonment, Lord Alfred had published Oscar's love letters for a reasonable price. Wilde very much wanted to convince himself that he hated Douglas, a capricious and selfish child who bankrupted him. The writer realized that his love was painful and pernicious. And when he was released from prison, he tried unsuccessfully to renew his relationship with Douglas. Oscar Wilde couldn't stay in any English hotel during the last 3 years of his life, so he had to live in Paris in poverty and suffering from ear disease under the assumed name of Sebastian Melmoth. On the 30th of November, 1900, the writer died. He was 46. In one of the letters sent from the prison, Oscar Wilde wrote about himself, "I was the symbol of the art and culture of my age."